Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new. Okay. Oh, there are so many topics I need to talk about, but good thing I have a big mouth and I talk way too much. And I'm Patty, and my YouTube channel is as messy as my life. So you know that what? Yeah, that's an interesting combination, but it's perfect for me. And if you're brand new, hi, hello, how are you? What's going on? How's your mental health? I hope everything's good. It's like, don't forget to at least tell one person you care about hello today. Yeah, sometimes I need to follow that advice because, especially after America or half of America show that they love bigotry more than they do of empathy and appreciation for humankind, especially humankind that is different from themselves, and or they think just because people look a different way or a certain way that they are not capable of doing just because of how they look and appear to them. Because, yeah, don't judge a book by its cover, but half of our country is still stuck on judging a book by its cover and hiring based off of that and thinking there must not be much quality within that book because of how it's created. Yeah, but anyway. So just know I talk about current events, politics. When I'll get back to Reddit story, like, 'cause I got some Reddit screenshots where I'm like, ooh, okay. And then a lot of race, the river of racism. I have a lot with that, but I have a lot more I need to share with that. And I have a Patreon that I just started like a week ago. It's still like I'm still organizing it, but I have so far at least 20 of the awful MAGA guys who write me and the bigotry, the racism. I think I have one or two of the guys who've called me the N word so far. I have the guy that's called me a slave and a lot of other things. So, yeah, if you want to look at that, you're more than welcome. And I'm going to be having writing exercises and also conversations about shows that kind of evolve on DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Yes, like that orange man can't stop me from talking about it. But like one of the shows, well, a few of the shows is going to be The Law of Lydia Poet, which is absolutely amazing. And oh my gosh, the main male character is so hot. He is a dream. And then also, oh yeah, it's like the extraordinary lawyer Woo Young Woo. Oh, her, like, yo, I'm finding a lot of international shows with hotties. Trust me, they are hotties. So, and I even want to do like a full conversation on maybe even compare and contrast some of the male characters, and like, because it's not only the out, like, oh, they are hot physically, but what draws me in, especially with the one from Woo Young Woo, is his compassion. And especially from a disability point of view, he researched and he knew things, and he was understanding, and he sees her as a human. And yes, like sometimes there's cringe moments, but he's learning from the cringe moments, or he watches and observes so he can be in more full understanding. And it's beautiful and amazing. And like one of my goals is like I want to write her and I want to tell her how amazing she is. Like, I mean, like, the creator of the show and the actress that played this role, because she did such an amazing job. But yeah, so I talk about all of that stuff and so much more. And my Patreon is, I'm going to have so many different things going on in there. It's going to be kind of like my little clubhouse. And especially with the Gray Sheep Society. I plan on doing some stuff with Gray Sheep Society and stuff like that too. If you don't know what the Gray Sheep Society is, look at my episodes. And I started, like, even the first word of the episode starts with Gray Sheep. So yeah, look those up. And my illustrator made some sticker designs for me. I need to make more, but baby steps, because remember, disability. I have a disability, and I'm trying to get my books published, and getting them edited costs a lot. If you knew, and then advertising and all that other stuff, and just, and then my greeting cards company that so yeah, with the life I'm living right now, if you've been listening to my episodes, you already kind of know the nightmare that like. I'm trying to get it out of the nightmare stance, but it's a fight that you wouldn't believe. But just understand, I cover and talk a lot. Yeah, I talk a lot about different issues and situations and things from different perspectives, and sometimes even bring up my writing and the ideas that I'm coming up with, because now I was like I'm creating two different types of books. One where the focus is kind of on shoes in a weird way, and then also, like, I've realized a book that I can do for a main character that is blind. So, but it's like they're kind of different but the same at the same time. But okay. Oh, and some murder mysteries. I love urban fantasy, murder mystery, crime, and outer space, like aliens and stuff. So like, yeah, so yeah, my books are like urban fantasy, sci-fi kind of stuff like that. So, but okay, here we go. And I'm kind of glad I brought those kind of things up, because yeah, if you haven't watched this video, watch it. He's amazing. He's great. I watch him, and I believe that's his wife. Like, she's, oh my gosh, his girlfriend or wife. I think that's his wife though. I love her episodes and shows, and she has like such a big heart. And it's like, I think she even talks about, like especially when she does the episodes about the homeless and shelters and things like that. I love volunteering with, and I can't wait to start doing that again. One reason why I'm like, okay, I got to work as hard as I can, get my business going, so then I can go out and make a difference once again and stuff like that. But yeah, okay, so after this, watch the video, because oh, Crockett put it out there. She went full petty, and I love it. And I can relate to it, because a lot of people look at me, especially now that my disability is full blown and I'm finally diagnosed after 30 years. For so many years, at, like, especially even during college at Oakland University, which was a nightmare, but I tell that story in other episodes, and I'm going to tell more later or whatever. But when everyone keeps saying that you're lying, and then when people keep looking at you and judging you, or saying that it's the reason why you walk like that, it's your fault, or the reason why you're having a hard time in a class is because it's your fault, then you find out that your disability has a learning component with it. Yeah, it's like, if you guys have been watching the episodes, it's like you already know about what happened when I was supposed to have the DNA results from my father, but they screwed up, and they were a lot of these doctors are only in it for the money. They are only in it for the money. I have done several episodes proving this, but some of these doctors do not care anything about you. They want you to come in sick so then they can get more money, but they don't care anything about you. And it's pathetic and crazy, but it's true. If you don't believe me, then oh well, I'll get over it. But listen, like, at the same time, I have so many episodes where I already talk about my doctor experience, and how doctors kept saying the pain was in my head. I was making it up, and I was just a liar. And so, like, living that for over 30 years, going to college and everyone saying that and laughing at me, mocking me, and then going to job interviews and they're blaming me, telling me that, oh, your mommy must not have taught you how to walk. It's like, you need to start walking right if you're going to get a job. Or, the clients are going to think of you as a distraction if you walk around with them like that. How is this permanent? You need to go to a proper doctor. It's like you need to go get like someone to crack that back into place. You're too pretty to walk like that. God wouldn't make you like, because yeah, someone even brought up God during an interview, but it was like God wouldn't have made you like this. So it's like I really advise for you to go to the doctors and have them figure this out. And it's like you have a degree, but you're allowing yourself to walk like this. All of this is during job interviews. But then our country, our orange guy in chief or whatever, has the nerve to say that people only hire off of merit. No, they don't. Just like that saying, don't read a book or don't judge a book by its cover. Yeah. Most people don't read dating profiles. You expect them to read a book? Black women kept telling people, read Project 2025. They didn't read it, but then they wanted to keep saying we were lying. They kept wanting to call us liars. But ta-da, who's lying now? How many people were looking up how to change their vote after voting? Yeah, not not many black women. Yeah, I'm part of the 92%. Not many black women. Because, yeah, now with DEI, all of the times European American women, or translated white women, kept telling me that they are not part of DEI. But it's like I took HR classes. I have like my MBA. So I've had to take more HR classes. And then it's like since I have an cultural anthropology minor, I love studying more into cultural diversity within business. So I studied that and I kept studying women in DEI, women and like the struggle, and women and the foundation, and women and the cultural need, women and the perspective, the alteration of a company because of women. I kept reading and it didn't say black women, it said women. And so now that DEI is being like trying to be destroyed, because you can never like, I will always be a part of DEI. I will always be a woman. I will always be black. I will always have a disability. So you can never tell me that there is no such thing as DEI when I am everything DEI. I live DEI. When I go out in public and people stare at me, judge me, and tell me that, oh, you have a disability. Why are you out? It's after 5 o'clock. What are you doing? When I have college students, why are you working? You should be on disability. It's like you're not supposed to have a job. It's like I wish I had your disability. It's like so then I could be at home and be lazy. I've actually had students say this stupid stuff. I've literally had students say this stupid stuff. But then people want to say we don't need DEI. We have people who have the nerve to say we only want to hire people like based off merit. No, you don't. We keep having all of these Republican Caucasian men keep talking about jobs will be like filled, or there will be qualified people as long as they are Caucasian male. We won't have to question if they deserve the job as long as they are Caucasian male. I won't have to worry about if a person can fly a plane as long as they are Caucasian male. But then, after DEI and all these Caucasian women started getting laid off and fired and let go, now some of them are just like, oh my gosh, I'm part of DEI. And the black women are looking at them like, no, duh. Like, we told you this. Your hatred, your racist, your bigotry was the one blocking your eyes. It's like you made like Ray Charles look like his eyesight was 20/20 with how blinded you were with DEI. Everything a black woman gets, as like especially like certain like Supreme Court justices and like Congress people, like everyone kept saying they only got it because of DEI. When you compare themselves to the other people, within their circuit, within their circle, within their demographic. Most times there's not it's not only two times, not only three times or five times, sometimes it's 10 times as qualified. The black woman, a lot of times we have to be not only two times, three times, five times, 10 times, but even 20 times more qualified. Do you know how many job interviews I went to and they kept telling me I was the most qualified for the job? But then all these Caucasian men keep saying based off merit, based off of qualification. But if I kept getting that I'm overqualified, I'm the most qualified, then they never hire me, even though they say them out of their own mouths. Out of their own mouths, they say I'm the most qualified, but then they don't want to give me the job. And then even at the community college that I teach at, well, there's more than one, but there's one specifically where, ah, bigotry. Ooh, actually, both of the schools have a lot of bigotry, but one more than the other. But when the dean, on the first day of school, because they hired me virtually, and I told them I had a disability, I told them. But then the, in one ear out the other, they're so blinded or whatever, they're not thinking, let's ask her more. Like they're not allowed to ask what my diagnosis is, but maybe they can ask more questions, but they didn't because they were dumb. Or not were, they are still dumb. They're idiots. They're poorly educated buffoons, especially when it comes to DEI. Because when they saw me on the first day of school and I was walking with my walking like utensil, all of a sudden they went from wanting to talk to me all the time, like virtually, until I was supposed to have a mentor. That mentor ignored me the entire semester. I would email him and ask him questions about things with my classes and what I could do and things like that, and he would ignore me. And one time he ignored me while it's like I asked another professor, and like, that's a great idea. So I shared part of my novel with the class, and then one of the like students, because I didn't know that the dean might disagree, because like my mentor wouldn't answer the questions. He like till this day, he has not answered it. Like, and this is years later. He never like, and I know I know he can answer my messages because there's one time where a student emailed him because she didn't know how to talk to me, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And even while I'm talking to her on the phone, because I get like, because she needs to call me or whatever, and she was just like, well, professor, I've never had a teacher look like you. So basically she's never had a black person, so she didn't know how to talk to a black professor before. And I'm like, okay, so you're racist too, whatever. Anyways, but it's like that was the only time that semester where I responded to him, and less than 2 minutes later I get the email back with her information and stuff, with the phone number and everything. All of the other times I emailed him, I still have not heard back from him. And one of them was about a Halloween fundraising candy drive. And I was going, like, with some of my students, they needed some extra credit. And so since it was a business class, I was going to do an exercise where, like, if my students brought the candy to school to donate or whatever, but they had to create like a marketing commercial or something like that or whatever. And even if all of my groups to try to help chip in and bring more candy, it's like if they can market on their social media and everything and tell the people where they can drop off the candy. Like, I mean, I had ideas and stuff because I thought this way my students can get hands on experiences, especially when it comes to social media, hashtagging, and keywords and things like that. So I thought it was a perfect fit, but never answered me at all. And it's really frustrating because I had some students who say, I like, after the second week of class, I had one student tell me I taught them more in 2 weeks than they learned for in a full semester in three-fourths of their classes. And I just remember I was like, I got teary eyed because I was just like, oh my gosh, thank you. That's the biggest compliment I could ever get. And the student gave me a hug, or even the last day of class, they were just like, thank you, thank you, thank you. That was so amazing. When I teach, I teach. I bust my tush off. And I try to make sure that my students have hands on experience to add to their resumes. And whenever, like, even when I worked at the K through 8 school in the inner city, it's like I was doing so much. Teachers were like, you're not getting paid enough for this. Why are you doing this? Why are you working so hard? Why are you? And it's just like, these kids are our futures. I care about our future, especially after the last voting and literally students voting off of if the, a particular person got on a certain podcast. It shows the immaturity. It shows the poorly educated. It shows the ignorance. It shows just so the naiveness. It shows so much. Yes, I'm gonna teach because I need to teach students to be able to not only gain information on their own, but also make sure that they're not going to be biased only off of one person. And then even that Jake Paul guy. I cannot stand that jerk. In my opinion, he's an absolute awful jerk. I cannot stand him whatsoever. And so I'm glad I'm saying that here and now so that no one can ever wonder, like, no, I cannot stand like him and his brother. Like, no, not at all. But anyway, whenever I work. And even with my self-published books, whenever people see my books, they're like, "Oh, who helped you with this? Who did this?" I did it. Yeah, but who helped you? No one. I did it. Who's your publisher? I'm my publisher. People still out there think that either because I have a disability or a woman or a person of color, I am not able. That I am not able to put the same work in, but and even with my novels, I have people of color as my main characters, black people as my main characters, people with disability. But then I hear from especially Caucasian men, no one's going to want to read your book. No one's going to want to read about, like, it's like maybe black people, but do you only want black people to read your book? That's how it feels with going to job interviews. It's like when Caucasian people see me walk into the room, they act like they automatically can't read my book. They automatically won't understand me. They automatically think that I am not going to measure up or that my resume is a lie because do you know how many times, like, when people interview, it's like a lot of times, like, I'm a talker. So I always end up getting to know a lot of other people that are interviewing for the same position. And I remember specifically for one job, there was this one Caucasian woman, and she said that she dropped out of college and she only finished like a semester or whatever. She got the job. And with the position, it was a requirement of at least a bachelor's. And she has no job experience. She's a stay at home mom. The interviewer told me I was the most qualified. And it was crazy because he even told me I had to send him the transcripts and transcripts with a seal on it. Because during the interview, he was just like, are you sure you finished these degrees? Are you sure you finished all of this? Who helped you do this? Do you know how insulting that is? And it's just like, what? Are you serious? And then I did promotional modeling. And I think I was still doing that too. And so, like, even with some of the promotions that I worked and some of the goals that I have achieved with it, he was acting like I was making it up. But it's really funny because with my references, two of my bosses from promotional modeling are my references. So I was just like, yeah, call them. Yeah, call them. And I remember my one of my old bosses, she called me after she got the call, and she was just like, "Oh, I laid everything out. I let them know how amazing you are and you're always on the job and how like innovative and things you are, whatever, how you're a team player and stuff." And she's like, yeah, but it's like some of the questions were kind of off, or they were just asking me, uh, do like, oh, first, um, I think they were trying to ask her, do I always talk the way I do? And she asked, what do you mean? And they were like, well, oh, when we saw her, like we don't think we would have just pictured her talking like that. I'm not quoting or whatever, but that was basically the stuff or whatever. And they asked a couple other questions that kind of sounded like they were race related or whatever. But whenever people try to say that, oh yeah, we're just gonna hire off merit, be quiet. Just stop. You're lying. No, 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 no. I don't believe that because I keep. And then even with my disability, I've already talked about my disability in another video. And I have so many other interview nightmares, but when people try to say that they're not going to be racist or biased or whatever, and then whenever I meet people or date people or whatever, and then people think, like, because do you know how many white men hate me because of my degrees, because of my certifications, because of my work experience, because that I'm starting my own businesses? I've literally had white men tell me that they do not want anything to do with me, or they're like, even, ooh, Tomas broke up with me or ghosted me, but like, because I screenshot and showed him when I published my second or third children's book. And he broke up with me because he told me he would never measure up to me because I was publishing my books. And that broke my heart because, like, I kept running into, especially, well, black men kept telling me that I was trying to be white. So I was just like, fine, whatever. So I'll date non-black men because like all throughout my life black men keep saying that. And I'm like, if you don't want me, then stop. Don't deal with, like, whatever. But then white men, it's just they tell me, it's like I'm gonna have to do it in another episode because I'm running out of time, but it's just disgusting. And it's like I want to live my life. I only have one life to live, and I want to be able to achieve as much as I humanly want to. When I leave this earth, I want to be like, I did this, and I publish, because I have at least 20 more book ideas. And so it's like when I leave, I want to be able to say that I published all of them and that I was able to, like, open people's eyes about the disability community and about racism, ableism, and all of the isms and everything. I want to be able to have people in the LGBTQ community be able to read the, like, some, because I do have representation in my books. Excuse me. And I want to show love and humanity, empathy, sympathy, and compassion. That's what I want. But anyway, this is the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human, and you're human too. And don't let anybody tell you who you are based off of your book cover. And yeah, I'm working on my book covers right now, and oh my gosh, my ideas! Oh, I'm so excited. But yeah, like, don't let anybody judge you based off yours. Never.